Have you ever felt the weight of the world on your shoulders? The suffocating pressure to have it all figured out? You look around and see your peers seemingly gliding through life, effortlessly achieving milestones while you're stuck in a rut. The comparison game begins, whispering insidious doubts and amplifying your every insecurity. This feeling, my friend, is more common than you think. It's a universal struggle that transcends age, background, and circumstance. We live in a society obsessed with achievement, a culture that glorifies the end result without acknowledging the arduous journey it took to get there. From a young age, we're bombarded with images of success. The perfect body, the dream job, the picture-perfect life, all meticulously curated and broadcasted on social media platforms. It's easy to get caught in this web of comparison, to measure our worth against these carefully constructed facades. But here's the truth. You are not defined by your accomplishments, your possessions, or your social media following. You are unique, a complex tapestry of experiences, dreams, and aspirations. Your journey is yours alone, and it's time to break free from the shackles of comparison and embrace the beauty of your own path. Let's delve deeper into the illusion of perfection and discover how to silence the noise of comparison. Social media, with its curated feeds and highlight reels, often distorts our perception of reality. We're constantly bombarded with images of seemingly perfect lives, flawless faces, and extraordinary achievements. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparison, to feel inadequate as we scroll through these carefully constructed narratives. But what we see on social media is merely a snapshot, a fleeting moment in time, carefully chosen and edited to present the most desirable version of reality. It's crucial to remember that behind those filtered photos and witty captions lie real people with their own struggles, insecurities, and imperfections. They too experience moments of doubt, frustration, and failure. The curated perfection we see online is often a facade, a carefully constructed illusion that masks the messy reality of everyday life. The danger of social media lies not in its existence but in our interpretation of it. When we allow these curated versions of reality to dictate our self-worth, we set ourselves up for disappointment and inadequacy. It's time to reframe our relationship with social media to view it as a source of entertainment and connection rather than a measure of our own worth. Imagine for a moment that life is not a race but a journey, a winding path filled with unexpected detours, breathtaking vistas, and challenging climbs. There's no finish line, no ultimate destination, only the continuous process of growth, exploration, and self-discovery. Each step you take, no matter how big or small, is a victory in itself. It's time to shift our focus from the destination to the journey, to appreciate the present moment and the unique path we're on. Comparison steals our joy, robbing us of the opportunity to appreciate our own accomplishments and celebrate our individuality. Instead of measuring ourselves against others, let's focus on our own growth, setting realistic goals and celebrating our progress no matter how small. Remember, you are not late, you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be. In the next section, we'll explore how to break free from the illusion of perfection and embrace the beauty of our own unique journeys. We'll delve into the power of self-compassion, the importance of setting realistic goals, and the transformative power of embracing our failures as stepping stones to success. It's time to rewrite the narrative, to silence the inner critic and step into the power of our own authentic selves. The perfect lives we witness on social media are often meticulously curated, a carefully constructed illusion designed to showcase only the most desirable aspects of someone's reality. It's like looking at a perfectly frosted cake, visually appealing, but lacking the depth and substance of the layers beneath. What we don't see are the countless hours of hard work, the setbacks, the moments of self-doubt, and the sheer grit that go into achieving any worthwhile goal. Behind every overnight success story lies a journey paved with challenges, failures, and lessons learned. Those picture-perfect moments often represent a fraction of a much larger narrative, one that encompasses both triumphs and tribulations. Imagine a photographer meticulously sifting through hundreds of photos, selecting only the single, most flattering image to share with the world. That's often the reality of social media, a highlight reel, not the full story. The truth is, everyone faces obstacles, everyone experiences setbacks, and everyone has their own unique set of strengths and weaknesses. Comparing ourselves to these curated representations of reality is not only unfair to ourselves but also sets unrealistic expectations for our own journeys. It's like comparing an apple to an orange, both fruits, both delicious but fundamentally different. When we constantly compare our behind-the-scenes struggles to someone else's highlight reel, we create a breeding ground for self-doubt, inadequacy, and even anxiety. We begin to question our own worth, wondering why we haven't achieved the same level of success, the same picture-perfect life. This constant comparison can lead to a vicious cycle of negativity, sapping our motivation and preventing us from pursuing our own goals. Think of it this way: you're watching a movie montage of a skilled martial artist effortlessly defeating opponents. What you don't see are the years of rigorous training, the countless hours spent practicing techniques, the injuries endured, and the unwavering dedication that led to that level of mastery. Similarly, every achievement, every milestone, every seemingly effortless victory we witness is the culmination of countless hours of unseen effort. The key is to remember that everyone's journey unfolds at its own pace. Just because someone else has achieved a particular goal doesn't mean you're behind schedule. Your journey is unique, your timeline is your own, and your progress should be measured against your own starting point, not against someone else's carefully curated online persona. Instead of overwhelming ourselves with the pressure to make drastic overnight changes, let's embrace the power of small, incremental improvements. The 1% rule, a concept popularized by author James Clear, suggests that by focusing on getting 1% better each day, we can achieve remarkable results over time. It's about consistency, about building sustainable habits, and about celebrating the small victories along the way. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. Initially it's small, insignificant, almost unnoticeable. But as it gathers momentum, as it picks up more snow with each rotation, it grows exponentially larger and more powerful. The same principle applies to personal growth. Small, consistent efforts compounded over time can lead to extraordinary transformations. Don't underestimate the power of small changes. Start by identifying one area of your life you'd like to improve and commit to making one small positive change each day. It could be as simple as reading for 15 minutes before bed, practicing a new skill for 30 minutes, or incorporating a healthy habit into your routine. Remember, consistency is key. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, and trusting that those small steps will lead to significant progress over time. For those familiar with the world of anime, think of characters like Rock Lee from Naruto or Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. They didn't become powerhouses overnight. They embodied the spirit of dedication, perseverance, and the unwavering belief in their own potential. They embraced the grind, pushing themselves beyond their limits day after day until they achieved their goals. Rock Lee, despite his initial lack of natural talent in ninjutsu or genjutsu, compensated with unwavering determination and rigorous physical training. He embodied the power of hard work, proving that even with limitations, dedication and perseverance can lead to extraordinary results. Similarly, Tanjiro, fueled by the desire to protect his sister and avenge his family, trained relentlessly, pushing himself to master the art of swordsmanship and demon slaying. These stories remind us that greatness is not reserved for the naturally gifted or the extraordinarily talented. It's earned through dedication, perseverance, and the willingness to embrace the journey, challenges and all. So, the next time you find yourself comparing your progress to others, remember the lessons of these anime heroes, embrace the grind, celebrate the small victories, and trust that with consistent effort, you too can achieve your goals. The phrase "best version of yourself" is often associated with an idealized image of perfection, a flawless physique, unwavering confidence, and a life overflowing with success and happiness. But what if we told you that this pursuit of an unattainable ideal is actually holding you back from becoming your most authentic, fulfilled self? True self-improvement isn't about chasing an elusive destination, it's about embracing the journey of growth, self-discovery, and continuous learning. It's about identifying your values, nurturing your passions, and striving to become a little better each day, not for the sake of external validation, but for the intrinsic satisfaction of living a life true to yourself. Imagine for a moment that your life is a garden. Instead of striving to cultivate a picture-perfect landscape, identical to every other garden on the block, you embrace the uniqueness of your own terrain. You nurture the seeds of your own dreams and aspirations, tending to them with care, patience, and a deep understanding of their individual needs. Some plants may flourish, while others may require more attention or a different approach. One of the most liberating aspects of this redefined approach to self-improvement is the realization that small, consistent efforts compounded over time can lead to extraordinary results. This is the essence of the 1% rule. The idea that by focusing on getting just 1% better each day, we unlock the power of compounding, leading to significant growth over the long term. Think of it this way. If you improve just 1% each day over the course of a year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. On the other hand, if you allow yourself to regress by just 1% each day, you'll end up back where you began. This principle highlights the importance of consistency, of showing up for ourselves even when motivation wanes, and trusting that those seemingly insignificant efforts are laying the foundation for remarkable progress. The beauty of the 1% rule lies in its simplicity and accessibility. It's not about making drastic, unsustainable changes, but rather about identifying small, manageable steps you can take each day to move closer to your goals. It could be as simple as reading for 15 minutes before bed, practicing a new skill for 30 minutes, or incorporating a healthy habit into your routine. Just as important as consistent effort is the ability to be kind to ourselves along the way. Self-compassion is not about lowering our standards or accepting mediocrity. It's about treating ourselves with the same understanding, kindness, and patience we would extend to a close friend facing similar challenges. Imagine a friend confiding in you about a recent setback or a perceived failure. Would you berate them, call them names, or tell them they're not good enough? Of course not. You would offer words of encouragement, remind them of their strengths, and help them see the situation as an opportunity for growth and learning. Why then do we often treat ourselves with such harshness and self-criticism? The inner critic, that voice of doubt and self-sabotage, can be relentless, whispering insidious messages of inadequacy and fear. But here's the good news. We have the power to choose how much weight we give to those thoughts. We can choose to challenge those negative narratives, to replace self-criticism with self-compassion, and to approach our journey with a spirit of kindness, understanding, and unwavering support for ourselves. Section 4. Rest, the unsung hero of progress. In a culture that often glorifies busyness and productivity, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that rest is synonymous with laziness or a lack of ambition. However, the truth is that rest is an essential component of growth, both physically and mentally. Just as a warrior needs time to sharpen their sword and recharge their energy, we too must prioritize rest and recovery to perform at our best. Imagine an athlete training for a marathon. Would they run at full speed day after day without allowing their body time to recover and rebuild? Of course not. They understand that rest is not a luxury but a necessity, a crucial part of the training process that allows their muscles to repair, their energy to replenish, and their performance to improve over time. The same principle applies to our mental and emotional well-being. When we push ourselves relentlessly without adequate rest, we risk burnout, decreased creativity, and diminished motivation. Rest, in its many forms, whether it's a good night's sleep, a relaxing walk in nature, or simply taking a few moments to disconnect and recharge, allows us to return to our pursuits with renewed focus, energy, and inspiration. Section 1. The inner critic, friend or foe. We all have that voice inside our heads, the one that whispers doubts, amplifies insecurities, and delights in pointing out our every flaw. This inner critic, often fueled by past experiences, societal expectations, and a relentless pursuit of perfection, can be a formidable obstacle on the path to self-improvement. But is this voice always our enemy? Or could it, with a little reframing, become a surprising ally? Imagine your inner critic as a well-intentioned but somewhat misguided mentor. Its intentions might be rooted in a desire to protect you from failure, disappointment, or the judgment of others. However, its methods, harsh criticism, negative self-talk, and a focus on shortcomings rather than strengths, often do more harm than good. The key is not to silence this voice entirely, but to learn how to engage with it differently. Instead of allowing your inner critic to dictate your self-worth, try approaching it with curiosity and compassion. When you notice negative self-talk creeping in, take a moment to pause and examine the thoughts without judgment. Ask yourself, is this thought truly helpful? Is it based on facts or on fear? How would I respond if a friend shared this thought with me? Section 2. From self-condemnation to self-compassion. One of the most powerful antidotes to the harshness of the inner critic is the practice of self-compassion. Imagine, for a moment, that you're talking to a close friend who is struggling with self-doubt or disappointment. Would you berate them, call them names, or tell them they're not good enough? Of course not. You would offer words of encouragement, remind them of their strengths, and help them see the situation as an opportunity for growth and learning. Self-compassion is about extending that same kindness, understanding, and patience to ourselves, especially when we're facing setbacks, making mistakes, or feeling inadequate. It's about acknowledging our imperfections without judgment, treating ourselves with the same care and concern we would offer a loved one. This doesn't mean ignoring areas where we want to improve. It simply means approaching the process with a spirit of gentleness and encouragement rather than harsh self-criticism. The next time you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, try shifting the dialogue to one of self-compassion. Instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," try saying, "It's okay to feel disappointed. Everyone makes mistakes. What can I learn from this experience?" Remember, you are your own biggest critic, but you can also be your own greatest source of support and encouragement. Embracing the Deku principle, rest, recharge, rise again. In the world of My Hero Academia, even the strongest heroes need time to rest and recover. Deku, the protagonist, known for his unwavering determination and relentless training, also understands the importance of taking breaks, tending to his injuries, and allowing his body and mind to recharge. This Deku principle is a valuable lesson for all of us, reminding us that rest is not a sign of weakness, but a crucial component of growth and resilience. Imagine a warrior preparing for battle. Would they charge into the fray without sharpening their sword, tending to their wounds, or taking time to strategize? Of course not. They understand that rest and preparation are essential for victory. Similarly, in the pursuit of our goals, we must recognize that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity. It's an investment in our well-being, a way to prevent burnout and ensure that we can continue to show up for ourselves day after day with renewed energy and focus. Rest can take many forms: a good night's sleep, a relaxing walk in nature, a few moments of meditation, or simply disconnecting from technology and spending time with loved ones. The key is to find what works best for you and to incorporate these practices into your routine regularly. Remember, you are not a machine. You are a human being with limits, and honoring those limits through rest and rejuvenation will ultimately make you stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to achieve your goals. You are not your setbacks. Separating identity from experience. One of the most insidious traps we can fall into is equating our setbacks, mistakes, or failures with our inherent worth as individuals. We start to believe that a single misstep defines us, that a moment of weakness reflects our entire character. This type of thinking can be incredibly damaging, leading to feelings of shame, hopelessness, and a reluctance to even try again. It's crucial to remember that you are not your setbacks. You are not your failures. You are not defined by the moments when you stumble or fall short of your own expectations. These experiences, however difficult or disappointing they may be, are simply data points along your journey, opportunities for growth, learning, and course correction. The next time you experience a setback, try practicing this simple but powerful exercise. Imagine holding the experience in the palm of your hand. Observe it with curiosity, acknowledging the emotions it brings up without judgment. Then, gently open your hand and let it go. Visualize the experience floating away, no longer holding power over you. Remember, you are not your setbacks. You are a work in progress, constantly evolving, learning, and becoming more resilient with each challenge you face. The gift of failure. Embracing setbacks as stepping stones. Imagine for a moment that you're playing a video game. You encounter a particularly challenging level, a formidable boss that seems impossible to defeat. You try different strategies, experiment with various weapons and power-ups, but each attempt ends in defeat. Frustrating? Absolutely. But does it mean the game is over? Not at all. In fact, each failed attempt provides valuable insights into the boss's weaknesses, the effectiveness of certain attacks, the timing required to dodge incoming blows. Failure, in many ways, is life's built-in feedback mechanism. It's a signal that something isn't working, that a different approach is needed, or that a course correction is in order. Embracing failure as an opportunity for learning, rather than a reflection of our worth, is essential for growth, resilience, and ultimately, achieving our goals. Think of it this way. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or innovator has faced countless setbacks, rejections, and moments of self-doubt along the way. What sets them apart is not their lack of failure, but their ability to view those experiences as stepping stones, as opportunities to learn, adapt, and come back stronger. The world of anime is replete with examples of characters who embody the transformative power of failure. These stories, often filled with epic battles, emotional turmoil, and moments of profound growth, offer valuable lessons about resilience, perseverance, and the importance of turning pain into power. Consider the iconic character of Guts from the anime Berserk. Subjected to unimaginable hardship, betrayal, and loss, Guts could have easily succumbed to despair and given up. Yet he chooses to fight on, his resolve hardened by adversity, his spirit unbroken by the weight of his experiences. Similarly, Naruto from the eponymous anime series is initially ostracized and ridiculed for the nine-tailed fox demon sealed within him. However, instead of allowing this pain to define him, he channels it into fuel for growth, striving to become Hokage, the leader and protector of his village. These stories, though fictional, resonate deeply because they reflect a universal truth about the human experience. Our capacity for growth, resilience, and the ability to transform pain into a source of strength and inspiration. The next time you find yourself facing a setback, remember the lessons of these anime heroes. Channel their unwavering determination, embrace the challenges before you, and trust that even in the darkest of times, you possess the inner strength to overcome adversity and emerge stronger on the other side. One of the most inspiring aspects of the human spirit is our capacity for resilience, our ability to bounce back from setbacks, learn from our mistakes, and try again with renewed determination. The art of the comeback is not about avoiding failure, but about embracing it as an integral part of the growth process. Imagine a basketball player missing a crucial shot in the final seconds of a game. The weight of the loss, the disappointment of their teammates and fans could easily crush their spirit. However, a true competitor will use that experience as motivation to train harder, analyze their weaknesses, and return to the court with a renewed sense of purpose. The same principle applies to any pursuit in life. Whether it's a setback in your career, a personal challenge, or a creative endeavor that didn't go as planned, the key is to avoid dwelling on the failure itself, and instead focus on extracting valuable lessons from the experience. What could you have done differently? What did you learn about yourself? How can you apply those insights to future endeavors? There's a powerful quote often attributed to the ancient philosopher Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. This sentiment perfectly encapsulates the essence of resilience, the understanding that setbacks, mistakes, and failures are not the antithesis of success, but rather stepping stones along the path. Imagine a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they may even shed a few tears of frustration. But do they give up? Do they conclude that walking is impossible and resign themselves to a life of crawling? Of course not. They get back up, dust themselves off, and try again, their determination fueled by an innate desire to explore the world around them. The same principle applies to us, no matter our age or stage in life. The true measure of our character is not how gracefully we avoid setbacks, but how resolutely we get back up after we fall. It's about embracing the journey with all its twists, turns, and occasional stumbles, and trusting that with each challenge we overcome, we become more resilient, more adaptable, and better equipped to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life. Imagine trying to climb a mountain in a single leap. It seems impossible, overwhelming, almost laughable in its absurdity. Yet we often approach personal growth with this same flawed mindset, seeking massive overnight transformations instead of embracing the power of small, consistent steps. Building lasting change is less about monumental leaps and more about nurturing tiny habits like planting seeds that will eventually blossom into the life we envision. Think of these habits as the foundation of a grand structure. Each small brick, seemingly insignificant on its own, contributes to the overall strength and stability of the building. Similarly, each time you practice a new habit, you lay down a neural pathway in your brain, strengthening it with each repetition until it becomes an automatic part of your daily routine. Just as a gardener tends to their seedlings with care, ensuring they receive adequate sunlight, water, and nutrients, so too must we nurture our newly forming habits with patience, consistency, and understanding. There will be days when motivation wanes, when the allure of old patterns beckons, but it's during these moments that our commitment to these small actions will determine the ultimate success of our growth. One of the biggest obstacles to forming new habits is the feeling of overwhelm. We set ambitious goals, envisioning ideal versions of ourselves, but then stumble at the first hurdle, discouraged by the perceived enormity of the task before us. The key to overcoming this initial resistance is to shrink the challenge, to break down those seemingly insurmountable goals into bite-sized, manageable actions. Instead of vowing to run a marathon next month, start by committing to walking for 15 minutes each day. Instead of aiming to write a novel in a year, challenge yourself to pen a single page each morning. By shrinking the task to its most basic element, you eliminate the intimidation factor, making it almost impossible to fail. This approach, often referred to as the 2-minute rule, capitalizes on the power of momentum. Once you've overcome the initial inertia, it becomes infinitely easier to continue building upon that small success. Those 15 minutes of walking might turn into 20, then 30, eventually evolving into a regular running routine. That single page of writing might spark an idea that carries you through an entire chapter, then another, and another, until you've crafted a complete manuscript. Anyone familiar with the world of anime has witnessed countless training montages, sequences where protagonists push themselves to their limits, honing their skills through relentless repetition and unwavering dedication. These montages, often set to inspiring soundtracks, offer a powerful visual metaphor for the importance of consistency over intensity in the pursuit of any worthwhile goal. These characters don't achieve mastery overnight. They don't rely on shortcuts or magical transformations. They embrace the grind, showing up day after day, pushing through fatigue and self-doubt, knowing that it's the accumulation of those small, consistent efforts that will ultimately lead to greatness. The same principle applies to building lasting habits. It's not about sporadic bursts of motivation or unsustainable efforts, but about showing up consistently, even when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, or when the initial excitement has waned. It's about trusting that those small, seemingly insignificant actions repeated day after day will compound over time, transforming you into the person you aspire to be. Section 4. Momentum builds from small wins to unstoppable force. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill. Initially it's small, insignificant, almost unnoticeable. But as it gathers momentum, as it picks up more snow with each rotation, it grows exponentially larger and more powerful. This is the power of momentum in action, and it's a force that can be harnessed in any area of our lives, especially when it comes to building lasting habits. Each time you successfully complete a small action, you gain a sense of accomplishment, a tiny victory that fuels your motivation to continue. This momentum, fueled by a series of small wins, creates a positive feedback loop, making it easier to stick to your habits and make progress towards your goals. The key is to celebrate these small victories, to acknowledge your efforts and appreciate how far you've come. These celebrations don't have to be grand or elaborate. A simple mental pat on the back, a moment of gratitude, or even sharing your progress with a supportive friend can be enough to reinforce your commitment and keep the momentum going. Remember, every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your ultimate destination. Section 1. The Unfolding Path, Embracing the Journey of Self-Discovery. As we reach the end of this exploration into the heart of self-improvement, it's essential to remember that the pursuit of our best selves is not a destination to be reached, but an ongoing journey of self-discovery, growth, and evolution. It's about embracing the unique tapestry of our experiences, celebrating our individuality, and recognizing that the path itself is as important as the destination. Imagine, for a moment, that you're walking along a winding path through a lush forest. The air is alive with the sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the gentle babbling of a nearby stream. The path meanders through sun-dappled glades, over moss-covered stones and past towering trees that seem to whisper ancient secrets in the breeze. This path, much like the journey of self-improvement, is not a straight line from point A to point B. It's filled with unexpected twists and turns, moments of both breathtaking beauty and challenging obstacles. There may be times when the path seems clear and easy to navigate, and other times when you feel lost, unsure of which direction to take. But it's in these moments of uncertainty, these detours and unexpected challenges, that we often discover our greatest strengths, uncover hidden passions, and forge a deeper understanding of who we truly are. Section 2. A Call to Action, Cultivating Your Garden of Growth. Now that we've explored the importance of self-compassion, the power of small habits, and the transformative nature of failure, it's time to put these principles into action. Remember, personal growth is not a spectator sport. It requires active participation, a willingness to step outside our comfort zones, and a commitment to nurturing the seeds of change within ourselves. Imagine your life as a garden, a fertile ground where your dreams, aspirations, and potential lie dormant, waiting for the right conditions to flourish. Just as a gardener carefully prepares the soil, selects the right seeds, and tends to their plants with care, so too must we cultivate the inner landscape of our lives, creating an environment where growth and transformation can thrive. This cultivation process begins with identifying the areas of our lives where we seek growth. What are your passions? What brings you joy? What skills or knowledge do you wish to acquire? Once you've identified these areas, it's time to set small, achievable goals, break them down into manageable steps, and commit to taking consistent action, even when motivation wanes or obstacles arise. Section 3. Sharing the Journey, Inspiring Others to Embrace Their Own Paths. The journey of self-improvement can be both challenging and incredibly rewarding. As you progress along your own path, remember that you don't have to walk it alone. Sharing your experiences, both triumphs and setbacks, with others can provide invaluable support, encouragement, and inspiration. Think about the people in your life who inspire you, those who embody resilience, kindness, and a commitment to personal growth. What is it about their journey that resonates with you? How have they overcome challenges, embraced their strengths, and shared their light with the world? By sharing your own story, you have the opportunity to become a source of inspiration for others, to remind them that they are not alone in their struggles, and to empower them to embrace their own unique paths of self-discovery. This sharing can take many forms: a heartfelt conversation with a friend, a blog post or social media update, or even simply offering a kind word or gesture of support to someone who is struggling.